One of the stalwarts on the defense last year, Austin Stief, a junior from Orlando, Florida right now. Honorable mention All GLIAC last year. How did you assess your year overall last year, Austin? What did you appraise yourself as doing?
I thought I really improved as a football player. I think when I got here, I had like the basics of football down, but what I did was I really got my book, my playbook. I studied a lot of tape, and I made sure, and I trained a lot with some good guys like Jumonte Peck and Austin Allward. And I made sure I was working hard every day to just improve the little things, because the little things is what carries the big things to be successful.
Did the older guys teach you more in terms of execution or how to fit in as a college athlete?
I would say some guys taught me differently. So there's some guys that did help me be a college athlete, and there's a lot of guys that just purely helped me with technique.
Speaking of that technique, what are you working on this spring, and what are you going to work on this summer to make that next step for the fall?
Weight room, agility, and just like, again, the little things, the steps, the hand placement, the workouts that correlate to the football field. Those are the things I'm going to need to work on this summer a lot.
Orlando, Florida native. Austin, you're a long way from home. How do you stay close to your family and friends?
A lot of calls, and then, again, I feel like I have a family up here. All my football teammates, I consider them all brothers, and they keep me happy, and they make me feel like I'm part of a family up here. But the family back home, just phone call away every day.
You're a business administration major. What do you hope to do whenever your football days are done, whenever that happens to be? What do you want to do with academically with your business administration major?
I'm not too sure, but I would like to run my own company and run my own brand.
You're a Miami Dolphins fan. You're kind of in vacant territory out here with all the Lions action. How do you follow your Dolphins?
Well, it's hard because at home I could watch the Dolphins on CBS every Sunday. So now I just log into my dad's Red Zone and watch them.
All right, let's talk about this team. What's this team look like compared to last year? Maybe strengths and weaknesses overall, Austin.
This team's just a lot different just because we had so many guys graduate, but we have so many young guys on this team. It's a core of a lot of freshmen that I grew up with that we've all developed together. So this team has so much chemistry together. We have been playing together since I got here, so everyone communicates very well in this team, and I feel like this team is a little bit better at that communication and that team chemistry.
Stay healthy and keep working, guy.
Thank you, sir.
Austin Stief. One of the players we did not see on the field for the spring game this year, quarterback number 3, Dwan Matthysse, who showed some great promise in his initial year his only year so far with Davenport last year before an injury took him out for the rest of the year. Dwan, let's talk about the status of your recovery, your rehab. Where are you on schedule?
I'm 2 months out right now. I'm getting closer, feeling a lot healthier than I was before. The injury's coming along just as time, so I'm excited about what the future looks like.
It seemed like things were just starting to click for you when you went down last year.
Yes, sir, they were. It was a very unfortunate time because, like you said just now, things were really starting to click. The game was starting to slow down and everything, so I was just excited out there, and then things went wrong, so it is what it is.
Yeah, and I know you're certainly disappointed to be injured right now. You can't wait to get back out there, but at least you'll have this full year next year, knock on wood, right?
Oh, yes, sir, knock on wood. Let's pray for the best, God willing. I'm able to go out there for the whole entire year and take care of business.
What are you working on specifically in the offseason as far as rehab? Is there a particular way of conditioning that you're working on to get back?
Probably just strengthen everything. Once I get the strength going in the ankle again and able to move around as much as I want to, I'll be all right. But as of right now, that's probably the biggest thing I'm focusing on.
Even though you weren't able to play the last half of the season, you got a chance to know the team, know the program. What's your feel for this team coming into next year as far as what we can look for in the fall?
You can look for a well-disciplined group, taking care of business, executing plays, doing what we're supposed to do inside of the scheme, and whatever happens from there happens.
Finally got you back in the Great Lakes State from the Oak Park area when you were in high school. Had an outstanding high school career. Now that you're back in Michigan, family and friends able to get over and see you play now, right?
Yes, sir, they are. My whole family will probably be here next year just because this will probably be my last collegiate year of football, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Dwan, what do you think about doing whenever your football playing days are done? What do you want to do with your life after that?
I want to become an OC somewhere at the high school level or collegiate level, or if that doesn't go as planned, somewhere just starting my own training foundation, just giving back to the youth and teaching them the different aspects of the business of the game.
Looking forward to seeing number 3 out there this fall, Dwan.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Dwan Matthysse. Redshirt senior Myles Harris joining us right now as we get ready for the second half of the spring game here. Myles, how's the spring gone for you so far as conditioning and for what you learned so far?
As far as conditioning, our strength and conditioning staff has been very good. They've been pushing us to make sure that we're doing the best we can and pushing us to be great. So as far as our health and our strength, we've been really it's been very good, very good.
Brother Myles Harris was a big part of the team, of course, last year, and he's now got some tryouts with NFL teams.
Yeah, I'm really excited for him. He's really heading in the right direction, and I feel like I know he's gonna make it. I know he's gonna make it. So it's all about him maintaining his confidence and knowing that he's that guy.
Well, you lose one brother, but younger brother Trey is right alongside. Tell us about how he's doing, how he's adjusting to Davenport.
He's doing really good. He's been adjusting, very good. He's a lot of the guys, been accepting him very well. Like the comparison between him and Myles, was there at first, but I'm not gonna speak too much on that comparison, but he's been doing good. He's been adjusting very well to our system. And the coaching staff has been loving him. So I'm really excited for him. You know what I'm saying, going into the fall. So he's gonna have a really good season this year.
All right, 8 games played, 2 starts last year. Where does Myles Harris have to get better for next fall?
Just being an all-around, football player, and work on leading the guys, and just being the best I can be. And that all just comes from being spiritually and mentally strong. So I feel like as long as I keep those two, I'll be good.
Integration professional studies major. Tell us what that means, something that I can understand.
Well, it's an integration study in the marketing field, so it's more so business, oriented. But I plan to, use that, and grow as a, business major and, use it in the marketing field someday.
Looking for big things from number 8, Myles Harris.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Tight end Luke Snyder joins us right now, a redshirt senior out of Charlevoix, Michigan right now. And Luke, primarily on special teams last year, but looks like you're ready to take a jump up to get more action on the field this fall.
Yes, sir. It's been a privilege to, learn the system. And I actually switched from linebacker. I got recruited as a linebacker here and then switched to tight end about a year ago now. So just been able to fully embrace the process, and it's been really fun.
What was the hardest part about making that transition from linebacker to tight end, Luke?
Well, it was actually easier than you might think because I did play fullback in high school, so I knew a lot of the mechanical work, and I guess it's just more about learning the system and learning the play calls and the signals more than anything, but that was probably the toughest part.
You were named academic all-district last year, so obviously your academics are important to you.
Of course, yeah. My parents really emphasized that from a young age, and it really takes you far in life to emphasize every aspect of your life and give everything 100%.
Here in the spring and now you go into the summer, there are certain things I know you're focused on and getting ready for the summer and the fall. What do you have to work on specifically to get your place on the playing field more often?
Well, specifically, I need to loosen my ankles up a little bit more on my first step. But other than that, just completely surrounding myself with leveling up my game in every other aspect in terms of route running, catching the ball, blocking with my hands, and just touching up on every aspect and getting a lot of mechanical work in the spring and summer.
All right, educate us, Luke. How do you loosen your ankles? What's involved in that?
A lot of stretching, a lot of mobility work. The trainers and the strength staff here get us right with all of that, so they've given me exercises to do that, and it'll be good for me, and I'm excited for the process.
Look to your past, your high school days, or maybe even beyond that. Was there a particular coach or teacher that really inspired you to take the next step and get serious and make football a really big part of your life?
Well, there was actually multiple coaches that have impacted me in different ways. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my dad. I mean, my dad has been everything for me in terms of loving the game of football and continuing on to the next level. And then also Nick Volamont, who was my offensive coordinator throughout my JV during high school. He really broke down film for me and taught me how to watch film. And he used to show me his notebook for each game, and it was crazy. It was like an NFL level notebook, and with crazy notes, and he's got the first 10 plays he thinks he wants to run, and then he's got a plan if those plays aren't working. Or man, it was just a crazy experience to learn from him. And then Matt Claflin, who was our defensive line coach throughout my high school career, he helped me a lot with my hands and in my feet and getting every aspect of that.
You're a biz ed major. What do you want to do with that eventually?
I'd like to go into some sort of either business management or marketing career. I've also talked about doing sports management or going into a sports advisor or financial advisor career, which would be really cool. Move down to somewhere warm and represent people with continuing sports careers would be sweet.
Former linebacker, now tight end, Luke Snyder.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Head coach Sparky McEwen joins us here as the spring wrapping up here. Coach, let's talk a little bit about what you thought stood out as far as what was accomplished this year in spring ball, leading up to the spring game and even in it.
Well, the biggest thing was fundamentals. We wanted to get our guys in this spring and focus on the fundamentals. We look back over the last 6-7 years and we found some things that kind of stuck out to us through our research, and we really wanted to work on the fundamentals and get back to old school tackling, catching, and running in football.
Every year you're looking for a couple of guys who make the jump up from contributing one year to being a significant contributor the next year. Can you give us a couple of guys maybe who are ready to make that step?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I really don't like to single out, the student athletes, but the offensive line, we had a couple young men up there that we need to step up because we lost a couple good soldiers, and I got some kids that's been high school kids that we recruited that I am really excited about their future here. What
about the overall status of Dwan Matthysse, who's coming back from surgery? I know we're going to talk to him today as well. And what's his progress as far as the timeline to get him back out, at least being able to take some snaps?
Yeah, he's been throwing in practice, and he had surgery there, and it's healing up great. It's healing up great. He's right on time. The only participation in spring was just light throwing, so I'm excited for him. He's going to be cleared here in the next couple of weeks, and we're excited to get him back.
What's your position group that you think is the biggest strength right now of this team?
Well, right now I would have to say our offensive line. I think offensive line-wise we're pretty good there, and then we got some receivers that we brought in I felt pretty good about. In our linebacking core, we returned all the starting linebackers, but we have some other holes that we got to fill, and I think we fill some pretty good spots here this spring.
Been a couple of years since you've been able to say the offensive line you felt so good coming into the season, right?
Exactly, because we had to repair that thing last year, but we got to work on some depth. We go about 7 deep, 8 deep right now. We got to get the young guys to step up a little more.
And finally, what's the outlook for the season when we get to it in the fall? What are the prospects, do you think, and what are the opportunities for this team?
Well, we still got some work to do this summer. Now we're going to our summer season, and man, I feel like we picked up where we left off last year. We're going to have a good football team, but depending on how these guys galvanize here this summer, that's going to be so big to us.
Head coach Sparky McEwen, thanks.
Thank you. Go Panthers.